Are you really up for that? I'm not as talented. That's, good morning. I can't be the only one in a good mood this morning. This is a celebration. We need this. This is a celebration, is it not? Yeah. Awesome. So, thank you all for being here for this really important, momentous announcement. My name is Pat Tutwiler, and I have the great pleasure of serving as your Secretary of Education. I want to acknowledge my friend and colleague, Labor Secretary Lauren Jones, who's here with us this morning. You'll hear from her in just a moment. Also want to recognize members of the Workforce Skills Cabinet who are here, and I see seated in the audience here this morning. You'll also hear in just a bit from the Education Co-Chair, Representative Ken Gordon, who's with us this morning. And I also want to recognize DESE Associate Commissioner Wyvon Stevens-Cotter, who heads DESE's Adult Education Program. Really appreciate you being here as well. Okay, good luck. Okay, she knows this is a celebration. Do that again for everybody. Hey, all right. I want to thank all of you who I just named and everyone for your continued support and for working with us to make sure that every student, child and adult, has access to the best education, no matter their background or circumstances. We're here this morning to celebrate, as I just said, the administration's $10 million investment in English for Speakers of Other Languages, or ESL, programs in Massachusetts. This funding is from the Fair Share Supplemental Budget and will help reduce wait lists, expand workforce readiness and training programs, and support English language instruction in the workplace. It will also help us establish a statewide career technical strategy in partnership with the Workforce Skills Cabinet. The Healey-Driscoll administration recognizes just how critical ESOL programs are. Right now, we're proud to have nearly 100 adult education programs that feature ESL services, now serving just about 30,000 participants. This $10 million investment will help us serve an additional 3,000 to 5,000 Massachusetts residents and give them access to these vital, life-changing programs. This is a bold investment because we know it will yield meaningful results. 1 in 10 workers in Massachusetts speak limited English. The adult population with limited English proficiency has grown approximately 50% in the last 2 decades. Bolstering our ESOL services will support personal and upward mobility, enhance workforce productivity, and greatly improve the talent pipeline to help fill the large number of entry-level jobs currently open. I do want to, as much as this is a celebration, I do want to acknowledge the larger context in which we find ourselves right now as we approach this work. At the same time as Massachusetts is expanding access to English language learning, the federal government is pulling back critical support. The U.S. Department of Education communicated that it is withholding funds for Title IIIA, which supports English learners in the K-12 setting, as well as adult education programs such as adult basic education grants to states. This annual funding was already appropriated by the U.S. Congress and was expected to be received by all states on July 1st. These federal cuts threaten to undermine services for English learners just as the demand continues to grow, making this state's investment all the more urgent. In Massachusetts, our values are very clear. We believe in the promise of every student, and we're committed to creating the conditions so that all of our learners at every age can rediscover their dreams. Our commitment to this value will not waver. Before I go and step aside and introduce my friend and colleague, Secretary Jones, I just want to take a quick moment to express deep gratitude for all the educators who do this work, who help our ESOL program succeed. Multiple agencies provide ESOL resources, including DESE, as I mentioned before, The Department of Higher Ed, who's represented here this morning, also provides ESOL supports. The Department of Transitional Assistance, ComCorps, and the Office for Refugees and Immigrants. This work simply could not happen without all of you. The work each of you does each and every single day, is not only vital to the educational success of adults and English learners, it's a key driver of our economic mobility and ultimately our state's success. You are helping create the opportunity to change lives, and I'm deeply grateful for your dedication and for the work that you do. Thank you. And at this time, it's my pleasure to hand it over to a person who really needs no introduction, Labor and Workforce Secretary Lauren Jones.
Good morning. Thank you, Secretary Tutwiler, for that warm introduction, but also helping to frame why we are here, why we are coming together, and really this exciting and important topic. I'd like to also acknowledge members of our Mass Higher State Workforce Board who's here, including Commissioner Wolf of Mass Ability and many others who are represented on the board. Here in Massachusetts, we know that we are stronger when we work together. Clearly, this room is reflective of so many partnerships that help to drive education and workforce outcomes. We are coming together with this shared purpose to support our people. The growth of industries statewide relies on the growth of our people, from healthcare, delivering patient care, to manufacturing and innovating the next great solution for life-changing technologies and innovations that we know happen right here in Massachusetts and so many more industries. But that is why Governor Healey, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, and our team that stands behind our workforce agenda was really intentional with ensuring that our workforce agenda is founded on the belief that our people, both our current and future talent, fuels our workforce, fuels our businesses, and drives economic competitiveness. Now in Massachusetts, we know that Massachusetts has always been a welcoming commonwealth and a gateway for immigrants. People who come here seeking not just a new home, but the chance to build a future through work, education, and community. And as Secretary Tutwiler emphasized, now more than ever, we cannot overlook the contributions of our immigrants to our communities across the Commonwealth, representing 20% of workers in Massachusetts. So to build a strong workforce, we have an obligation. We have an obligation to unlock this talent to become great contributors to our workforce. Some individuals who are already part of our workforce, we want to make sure that we give them the tools to upskill and grow it and be even more productive within our workforce. And so in doing so, we want to make sure that we're also intentional to reduce barriers to career training and employment opportunities. And this room certainly knows that language is and has long been a barrier. As Secretary Tutwiler said, 1 in 10 workers speak limited English, and the adult population with limited English proficiency has actually grown by 50% over the last 20 years. But the Healey-Driscoll administration knows that Massachusetts needs to catch up, and we've responded. And that is why Secretary Tutwiler has emphasized the amazing announcement that we're celebrating here today, when Governor Healey proposed and the legislature supported a $10 million investment to ensure that we are, again, being intentional with the fair share supplemental dollars to support ESOL for work. We're also being intentional and working collaboratively. The Workforce Skills Cabinet, which I have the pleasure of chairing alongside Secretary Tutwiler in Education and our friends in HHS and Economic Development, all coming together to break down government silos that we know often exist, but ensuring that we're now leveraging our resources and working together in tandem with alignment to ensure we have a statewide ESOL for work strategy. This is all going to be helping to support more adult learners, helping to ensure that we're integrating ESOL contextualized for a career and an opportunity right here in Massachusetts. And we also know there are so many tools in our toolbox, tools that have proven this model can be successful. In addition to the announcement that Secretary Tutwiler highlighted today, we're also thrilled to expand on English language instruction for employment by leveraging $2.7 million through our Workforce Competitiveness Trust Fund through a new grant called RISE, Readiness, Integration, Skills, and Employment Grants that will extend to 8 initiatives representing employers and collaborative organizations across the Commonwealth. These grants will fund ESOL services, career readiness wraparound supports, and job training and placement services to eligible participants. And it's through grants like this, it's through leveraging the new resources that we are going to lean into, where we've seen best practices. We've been able to go around the state, we engage with so many partners that are in this room and beyond, where we've seen with employers and training providers coming together, this is a proven model, combining ESOL for work to address language barriers in areas like healthcare. I was just out in Holyoke just last month with President Timmons at Holyoke Community College, and I was able to visit a CNA job training program in integrating ESOL for work right in downtown Holyoke, and with our Mass Hire Career Center partners, but also employers like Bay State Health, who are hiring graduates of ESOL for work programs centered on a huge direct care role that we need, like CNA workers. There are so many more examples like this across the state and in partnership with employers that we continue to lift up and celebrate. We also know that our training partners help to do exactly this work, building on models like our Workforce Training Fund and the resources to upskill existing workers. And I want to give a shout out to English for New Bostonians, which has long been a resource for employers who are investing in upskilling their workers using ESOL as a tool to increase greater productivity. But these are just a couple examples, and we know there are so many more, and we know that there's going to be so many more wins that we will be able to celebrate thanks to these new dollars that are coming to fruition. But we also want to make sure that as we have this celebration, as we continue to create more spaces to support our immigrants and think about how we can collectively create impact, we really want to make sure that we as a Commonwealth stay focused on our values, which we know includes and is grounded in increasing greater diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, because we know that that is so incredible for not only as a moral initiative or imperative, but also an economic imperative, helping to boost economic mobility and economic opportunity for all people right here in Massachusetts. And we know that it takes a collaborative effort, including training providers, academic institutions, nonprofits, government represented today, and employers. Which brings me to my next opportunity, which is to introduce a great employer partner who has seen the need, has been a partner in raising attention to this need, and is also a partner in helping to continue to advance with more solutions. And that is Eastern Bank and Eastern Bank Foundation. I am thrilled to welcome Bob Rivers, chairman of Eastern Bank, who has been very innovative, creative, and a willing partner to team up with us. And I welcome Bob to say some words as well. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Madam Secretary, for that kind introduction and for including us in this celebratory event at a very important time for the economic security of Massachusetts. Many thanks to the Governor, the Lieutenant Governor, Secretary Jones, Secretary Tutwiler, and the entire legislature for investing additional resources and for recognizing the needs of the Massachusetts workforce, as well as opportunities to strengthen it. As mentioned, the $10 million announced by the Healey-Driscoll administration today will help fund additional initial models driven by partnerships and collaboration. Our workforce is ever changing. The way we produce goods and services is ever changing. And the skills needed for the optimal delivery of these goods and services is also changing. We know that nearly 150,000 workers in our state are underemployed or otherwise untapped talent. Despite slower hiring, Massachusetts continues to have more job openings than available workers, and immigrant workers continue to be a critical source of labor market growth. Recognizing this and taking decisive action now will ensure our state's economy will remain strong today and into the future. But we must also recognize that English language proficiency is the primary obstacle to full labor market participation and economic opportunity for so many of our neighbors and colleagues and coworkers. Nearly 500,000 working age Massachusetts residents, or as the Secretary said earlier, more than 10% of our workforce has limited English proficiency. This results in significant limitations in obtaining higher paying jobs, performance issues due to lack of understanding instructions and signs, and the inability to communicate much needed support. In order to overcome these language barriers and the impacts they have on business and industry, I am delighted to announce that the Eastern Bank Foundation is also launching a new initiative called Career Focused English Proficiency. This initiative is being launched with an additional $10 million investment over 3 years to solve long-held challenges with a new and innovative approach and in collaboration with many of our community partners. As our partners at Mass Inc. highlighted in a recent report, which Eastern funded and was completed and announced over a year ago, there is clearly a gap in a statewide strategy around career-focused English learning and the need for more resources specifically focused on vocational programs and English skills for the workforce in many industries. The Career-Focused English Proficiency Initiative's vision is based on a solid foundation of using multi-sector stakeholder groups to shape the model, create the program resources, and operationalize support systems to best serve the needs of businesses and industries throughout the state. It is being designed to eliminate waiting lists and expand access. It harnesses a public and a private investment and the latest research in second language acquisition and neurolinguistics to ensure adult learners rapidly gain the English skills needed for their current jobs and career goals. Massachusetts vocational program data indicates that 67% of unemployed students in vocational ESL programs secured employment within 6 months, compared to only a third in general ESL programs. This data underscores the opportunities we have to work together to improve lives, increase the productivity of our businesses, and strengthen and secure our state's economy. The investment is being made by the Eastern Bank Foundation is intended to greatly expand workforce-based learning, language learning access and capacity. We at the foundation have been investing in several core areas, as some of you know, including the small business ecosystem, safe and affordable housing, early childhood education and care, and of course, workforce development. And this initiative goes deeper into contributing directly to strengthening our workforces and expanding access by investing, designing, and implementing a career-focused English program that will meet the needs of employers and employees. In closing, I'd also like to thank Ron Dorsey, the new president and CEO of the Eastern Bank Foundation, along with Nancy Huntington Stager, who just retired a week ago as our longtime CEO of the foundation. It was really their vision. And you can't do this work unless you have subject matter expertise. So as evidence that timing is everything, we had the opportunity to bring on Ava Malona to join our foundation as our newest leader to take on and lead this initiative with partners throughout the community. Jerry Rubin, who's another member of the Eastern Bank Foundation team, and as many of you know, is former CEO of Jewish Vocational Services, the largest provider of vocational ESL in the Commonwealth. He's going to continue to be a partner in this effort. When we started this journey, it was Jerry's work that provided the spark and worked with us to get it going. And now Ava's going to carry it forward. The other partner I want to recognize here today is the Mass Business Roundtable. The Mass Business Roundtable, JD and his team have been the leader in the business community around this issue and with respect to workforce talent in general. So JD, thanks so much for your partnership as well. So, as you've all heard, by investing in our workforce today, we're not only benefiting the immigrant population, but also building a solid strategic economic foundation for our state. Together, we will decrease labor shortages, enhance workforce skills, increase productivity, and foster inclusive economic development. It is indeed a win-win effort. Many thanks again for the opportunity to speak today. And I look forward to working together with all of you to make this vision a reality. And now I'll turn the podium over to Dr. James Vanderhoeven, President of Mount Wachusett Community College, to introduce our next speaker. Mr. President.
That is a tough act to follow. Thank you for your commitment. Secretary Tutwiler, Secretary Jones, thank you very much for having me and for having us here today to really celebrate this incredible announcement. The Massachusetts community are very grateful for the opportunity to play a role in partnership with delivering ESOL services and education around the Commonwealth. And before I really talk about the pipeline that this really helps support, I'd like to say a little bit about the context that you mentioned, Secretary Tutwiler, when you began, and putting this into context of where we are today. And I know that I'm joined by each and every one of you by being grateful each and every day when we wake up and do the work that we've been called to do to help build up our communities, to provide education opportunities for those who have not been served in the past, where we can say the following words: that we are and will continue to be on the right side of history. I'm joined with the community colleges by Nate McKinnon, who helps kind of herd cats with a lot of the community college presidents. And Nate, your leadership has been paramount to us being able to play this role in the Commonwealth. Lisa Karcha is also joining us. Lisa, thank you for your leadership with the workforce development aspect of everything that we do in keeping this at the forefront of the work that we do. We are eternally grateful to Governor Healey and the legislature and the secretaries for their commitment to affordable and accessible education throughout the Commonwealth. And as we have seen in just 2 short years, we've seen incredible increases in enrollment and opportunities for all Massachusetts to be education. And as has been mentioned several times this morning, what we really need to focus on is that pipeline and being able to provide educational opportunity for English learners to be able to enter the workforce and to be able to fill the critical jobs that are in demand in all of our regions is the mission of the community colleges. I'm looking here and when he turned around, but Secretary Tutwiler, I would like you to know, and he did not pay me to say this, but when Bob tells me to jump, I ask how high. And that is because Bob's commitment to the workforce and being able to create a path for our community colleges and the state universities and the UMass system to be able to meet the needs of the workforce, the business and industry, to be able to provide individuals who seek that opportunity to join the workforce. We will do it. We will be on the right side of history with this, and we will continue to create opportunities for Massachusetts business and industry to be able to secure our economy and secure our future in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak this morning. It is now my pleasure to introduce Claudia Green, the Executive Director of English for the New Bostonians, and Jude Charles, former ESOL student Please join me at the podium.
We're going to go one by one. Thank you. I would just want to say it is really awesome to see. I was told 50 people could fit in this room, but I see that there are many more, and it's really so heartwarming to see how many people are here and care so deeply about this issue from so many diverse sectors. I think I was invited here because you knew I wasn't going to hold back, and I won't. We are today, as this nation goes forward under the tyranny being imposed on immigrant communities, together with the education cuts from the federal administration, Massachusetts is making a positive, no-nonsense step that values immigrant talents and voices. Massachusetts is promoting economic mobility, as well as addressing the call from the private industry for relief and action, with timely, top-level leadership and expanded vocationally focused ESOL training delivered by a network of savvy providers. Immigrant workers and business owners will contribute their full potential and keep our economy going. So thank you again to the Healey-Driscoll administration, Secretaries Jones and Tutwiler, and the legislature, and congratulations to the RISE grantees that are being awarded grants today. It's exciting. We at English for New Bostonians support 24 community-based ESOL programs in Boston, complementing the state of adult basic education funds. And through our English Works business services, we do work with companies across the region using the Mass Workforce Training Fund to help them offer workplace English training to their staff, people who are already in jobs but want to advance and move ahead in their careers. During 2024, we also put up 34 ESOL classes in 14 of the emergency assistance shelters statewide, allowing residents to move ahead and fill in-demand jobs. Today, some people are indeed afraid to travel to English classes due to ICE enforcement, but waitlist numbers are still higher than ever. The funding added through the SEP budget and the RISE grants will help to address the profound need and to fill in-demand jobs. With both the secretaries hosting this event and legislators having advocated this budget, we are absolutely encouraged. 65 to 70% of the people in ESOL classes cite a job or a better job as their primary reason for being in English classes. We at English for New Bostonians, we are a member of the English for a Strong Economy Coalition, which represents 30 plus organizations calling for the passage of the bill to promote economic mobility through ESOL for coordination, statewide strategy, and additional vocationally focused funds. Again, really pleased to see the collaboration and coordination here in this room today. One of the ways that we respond to the current labor shortages is through our unique ESOL teacher training program in partnership with Adult and Community Learning Services at the Department of Ed. We're training immigrant ESOL graduates to become ESOL teachers. The result is new teachers and much needed cultural competence in the field. Graduates like Piera, teaching at the Brazilian Worker Center, Cindy at JVS, and Tamara, who's here today, teaching with ENB, all of them contributing to the state's ESOL education system and to our economy. We hope to be able to continue that work given the funding being celebrated here today. With new resources under the RISE grant, EMB's multilingual coaching team, also here in the room today, yay, will expand their work with ESOL students to realize and leverage their own experience and skills and chart their path forward. Customized English learning opportunities unleashes the talents of newly arrived and long established immigrants, from those who had little chance at formal education in their country to those who have served as engineers and doctors and professors, those bursting with talent and just needing the right training, tools, and information. You're going to hear today from Mr. Jude Charles, who's a graduate of the Gilbert Albert Community Center in Dorchester, an organization which is at the epicenter of the Haitian community and led by Ms. Nicole Albert, who's also here with us today. Jude is bursting with talent. We have the right resources and the leaders in this room. We have state education leaders for English in college, workforce development for skills training. We have Bob Rivers of Eastern Bank in case Mr. Charles needs a loan or technical assistance. So let's put our hands and our resources together for Jude Charles.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Jude Charles. I'm from Haiti. Thank you for the invitation to share with you my story. When I was in Haiti, I was working in Caritas. Caritas is a Catholic organization. I was working over there as an IT manager for 10 years. And also, I was teaching computer skills at Notre Dame University, a Catholic university. I came to the United States because of the situation of my country. There is a lot of problems over there, such as political, social, economical, and criminality. That's why I left my country 3 years ago. Since I came to Boston, I was looking for a school where I could study English, but I didn't find anyone. All I found was online classes, and I didn't want to study English online. I preferred to go in person. After that, I have found GACC, Gilbert Albert Community Center, and I took an English class. The class at Gilbert Albert Community Center was of high quality and allows us to integrate the workplace most easily with a better understanding of American society. At the class, we were different nations such as Haitian, Dominican, Cape Verdean, Belgian. At this class, we have learned a lot of things like American culture, immigration, credit system, auto, and health insurance. Yes. We have also learned about the political system in the United States too, like presidential elections, Congress elections. We also learn English for employment skills, like how to fill out an application and how to write a resume. The class at GACC also helped me personally to prepare for interview for work here in the United States. My first job when I came here was working first for a company delivering food and grocery. After this job, I applied for another job in a company named We Drive You. They called me for interview, and after my interview, they hired me as a driver, and I worked there for 10 months. This company works for Northeastern University. We pick up the students at the library and we drop them off at their houses. I had to leave Boston earlier last year to visit my family in Haiti. When I came back, I started driving for Uber. This is my current job. For the future, I would like to continue studying in my career as an IT professional and get a better job so that I can finance my business. I need additional training to increase my IT skills to be competitive in an American market. For example, AI is very different now than 5 years ago. I have a lot of business ideas, and I would like to be my own boss in the future. I also need training in business. I have already created my own LLC for my dream transportation company. It's called Charlito Services and Logistics. I'm Charles, but my business is Charlito Services and Logistics. Thank you all for the support you gave to the immigrant community. And I would like to encourage every one of you to continue helping the immigrants community by supporting English program like GACC and English for New Bostonians that help people get good jobs and continue living their dreams in USA. I have a special thought for my Haitian community, which is facing a lot of difficulties now. So many of them are very depressed because they are losing their status and their jobs in the USA. If you can do something to help them facing this situation, it will be very, very, very appreciated. Thank you.
Drew Charles, this is why we're here, right? Your story is amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us, and we wish you all the best going forward. If I could humbly say so, I think that the most seamless path to success is lined with collaboration and values alignment, and that seems to be on full display this morning, which is so heartening and inspiring. A big piece of the collaboration is with the state legislature. And at this time, I'd like to invite Education Committee Co-Chair, Representative Gordon, up to the mic. I will name that he is relatively new to the role, but I've been deeply impressed and inspired by how he's leaning into the role, as evidenced by the fact that he's here to join in this celebration and to speak this morning. Please, Rep. Gordon.
Thank you so much. And I am so excited to be able to appear here before you with Secretary Jones to celebrate this important program, the funding of this important program. You know, the bad news about going last in a very distinguished panel like this is that what I had prepared to say was basically said already. And so I'm going to keep my reading glasses down here and speak from the heart, and with apologies to my staff, which just took a deep breath. But this is why we're here, as Secretary Tutwiler just said. This is why we wake up and go to work in the morning. This is why we were elected, to help people, and to help people in these fundamental ways. So, you know, this morning I woke up, I was in Massachusetts, and that's a good way to start the day. Because in this state, we recognize that we don't win unless everyone wins, or we strive to make it so. We understand the benefit of rising tides lifting all boats. We understand that when we benefit our immigrant community, it benefits all of us. Like JD knows from Mass Business Roundtable, our businesses are looking for access to labor. And by helping our businesses to access that labor, we're helping everyone. We're helping our economy, which is so important. So this work, this funding benefits our immigrant community. And first of all, Mr. Charles, thank you very much for sharing your inspiring words. This is really, he represents what we have, and this is our opportunity to include hardworking people in our economy, the people that we'll look back on and got us from one level to another, because we were welcoming of people joining our economy and contributing to our economy and not working on narrowed views, because our views are broad and we understand in the legislature. This is why we fund these opportunities, and this is why we're so happy that the administration then carries forward and uses those funds to benefit programs like this. It's what we do together. And again, I'm so proud that we work in the same direction all the time, because it's not political. It's just the right thing to do. And we recognize that this is the right thing to do. And I think I'm proud of everybody in this room, because all of you had a hand one way or another in furthering this program, or really you wouldn't be here. And so thank all of you for participating in our moving forward as a Commonwealth in the right way, in a way that expands opportunity. It's not that cherishes and values opportunity, because together we're going to get to a better place. So thank you.
Rep Gordon, before you walked away, I was going to take this mic out and give it to you and let you drop it on the ground. Something that Rep Gordon said that I think is really on display in this investment and in all of the commentary shared this morning. We don't win in Massachusetts unless everyone wins. I really appreciate that sentiment. Thank you all for being here this morning. That concludes the formal program. Please feel free to hang out and connect with one another, and we'll go forward. Thank you for being here.